look through part of your lesson that you're going to be dealing with the Protists. And there are some tutorials to look at, and there are some virtual labs. So the link will be in your lesson that will take you to the virtual lab. Remember, it's a different site than from the Odysseyware, but the link will be in the Odysseyware so that you can get to it easily. And every time that you come to a virtual lab here, you'll see that the title is here, and then you always will have this green bar across here. You have a glossary, which is available, which is kind of helpful there. You have the take a test. You won't be taking the test here. If you were, there are, some of the teachers will have different, might have you take the test on that, or there's a different test for this. But we're not going to be doing any of those in this particular lab. Though there is one lab that we do take a test, so you'd want to go to the, if it comes up within your lesson to take a test, this is where you would go, and then you'd have to pick the appropriate test to be taken. Now this one has, I know there were quite a few of the tutorials that were assigned. Some of them have just a few slides that go with them. Others have, more slides. I think the first couple only have a few. What is a Protist? See, if you look up here, you can tell how many slides there are total for that particular item that you're looking at. So this one only has 3. You can go back to the tutorials. This one only has 4. I like these because they have usually some pretty good pictures. Some of them have animations that you can use, and they're pretty concise as to what they say over here. You don't have to read on and on and on. And I kind of like that. Just get right to the point and give you the information that you need, that either that's informative or interesting, and then move on. Diversity of the Protists. I think this one's a little bit longer here. So this one, if you look up here, has the 13 slides to go with it. Again, not a lot of reading, but a nice, colorful, easy to look at, easy to understand picture, which I think most of them are, which I really appreciate that. Now see, there's some animation in this one here, and if you come up back here, it says click on the replay button to replay the narration and the animation. So that's kind of nice. Very 4 of 13. Okay. Let's see if there's any others that have the animations, and you can usually tell the ones that have the animations because you have the replay button back here. So see, a lot of nice color and very simplistic. Animal-like Protists, because there are animal-like Protists, there are plant-like Protists. 13 again. Let's see if there's any other additional animations. Okay, this is kind of interesting here, and I actually, I think in one of your lessons, I actually put up here. It's a movie that, gosh, quite a few years ago. I think it was in the 50s that someone had taken. Great picture of an amoeba. Which is that one that kind of looks like the blob, and it has a different cytoplasmic arms that reach out in different directions, and they can change shape, actually engulfing a real bacteria. So it's not animated at all. See, right to the point, good colors. Okay, so let's see, we have an animation here. You can replay it if you'd like. Another animation. So see, even though you see a larger number of slides, they're usually very, colorful, kind of fun to look at, I think, and it has just a little bit of writing to read. So I like them, right to the point, yet colorful. Let's see, the importance of algae, I know, is one of yours to be looked at. Only 4 there. So that one has an animation too, so you can actually replay. Doesn't look like it's an animation, but they do have multiple pictures there. Okay, so I think that'll be kind of give you a feeling. I think almost all, regardless of what lab you go into, you know, they're all pretty much set up the same way. I think they're set up, they're you know, easy to look at, they're informative to look at. It's nothing that you have to try and figure out greatly. It's pretty simplified and to the point, and yet you know, the writing gets right to the point and doesn't drag on and on and on. So I think all of your tutorials, regardless of what lab that you look at, will be that. And then if you go to the virtual lab, let's take a peek at this one, and all the labs are set up exactly the same. I think we've talked about, I set up a sample going through, like a video to go through, and I picked a lab and we went through and kind of took a walkthrough on it. This is exactly the same. The objectives, material, and safety you don't have to look at. You begin your activity, and just to reiterate what you know, some of the things that you need to follow by, you'll notice that there's no next button here. The next button doesn't appear until you have done everything on the page that it asks you to do. And you cannot make a mistake, so if it says to do something and you do something contrary to that, it won't work. You must do what is correct in order to proceed. This little thing up here is your online notebook. It's where you would keep track of your data. Now the important thing is, as I put in the initial walkthrough video, but I don't know if you remember it, but this is an important part. When you put your data in here, you must save that results, and this is where you save it. If you don't, everything disappears. So you lose all your data. You must save the results. If you want to go back to the lab, you just click this little button there and you go back. So you can actually go back and forth between the lab and your notebook. Now we'll kind of try it here to just show you that nothing will really show up. This button here, the only thing I don't like about this lab, and I think I mentioned that in your walkthrough video, is that you can't back up one slide. So if you go forward, you can't just back up in case there was something that you wanted to look at. That's the only negative thing. Like I said, you can't make a mistake. You can keep trying things until you get the right thing, and then you will proceed. But if you did want to start over, this is a restart the lab button. You can always go back and restart your lab over and then go quickly through it again. So even though you can't back up one you know, slide, you can back up to the beginning of the lab and then restart. So let's see what it says. We'll go through here, we'll read what it says, and let's see if our next button then pops up once we complete everything that should be done on this particular page. So let's see, in this lab you will assist in identifying multiple or mystery protists based on physical features. Click and drag the pipette to the container of pond water to drop a small sample of pond water. My daughter and two granddaughters and I just went out to the greenbelt, and we found a pond that, you know, some water that was kind of stagnant off to the side of the river there, and we collected some of the water, the pond water there, and we brought it back. And then I have a microscope, so we did in real life what you're doing here with your virtual lab. So it says here, take the pond water and take it over to the observation chamber and let it go on there. You put that on there like that, and the pipette was automatically thrown away. And then it says, what do you have to do? Drag the lid to the observation chamber. So they're going to put a lid, like a cover slip, over your slide there. And now look what popped up. So see, after I finished everything completely, here's that next arrow that then popped up. And there's nothing else for me to do. There's no data to keep track of here or anything, so I can go on. Click and drag the observation chamber to the microscope. So you drag it over to here. Okay, and once I followed everything that it said, I had no data to put into my online notebook, that little next arrow comes up so I can push it. So I think that pretty much gives you an idea. We've kind of gone through everything again to really give you a good start as far as going through your virtual lab. Remember, except for one instance in one particular lab, you won't be taking a test. The glossary is there for your convenience if you want to look up a word. Teacher resources you won't see. This is only for mine. The tutorials that you're asked to look at, you'll want to click on there and pick the ones. Like I said, you can look at any of them, but at least choose the ones and look at the ones that are specially noted within your Odyssey Ware assignment, and watch those. And then your virtual lab will be here, and make sure again, there could be multiple labs. There could be 3, 4, 5 multiple labs there. Make sure that you choose the correct one and don't do one that you weren't assigned to do. You can certainly always go ahead and do it, but the one that comes into me and that I go to look at is the one that was assigned. So make sure that you at least do that one. So I hope this helps kind of in giving you a refresher on going through that lab, and that this will help you on your Protists lab. If you have any questions, certainly contact me, and if we need to take a peek at this one-on-one in a class live, we can certainly do it again if there's any part that's causing you not to be able to move further. So thanks for watching. Bye.